Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers find themselves in chilly Denver, Colorado, and that will certainly cut down the folks who come to see the game. Also, the fact that the Rockies are struggling. They've lost 11 out of 15, and they are 8 games back of the Dodgers. The Dodgers winning 12 of the first 15, had that 8-game winning streak snap last night. The boys didn't get here and get to bed till well after 4 a.m. in the morning. And when you think about it, for Jeff Weaver, this could be perhaps the most difficult start for a Dodger pitcher this year. A, they come in and get to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. B, it is very cool. Hard to hold on to a slick baseball. And number 3, remember, we are a mile above sea level, and it takes a while to get your high altitude sea legs. Here's the Dodger lineup with Cesar Izturis leading off. Aesop Choi at first base. J.D. Drew in right. Jeff Kent will hit cleanup. Milton Bradley in center field. Jose Valentin at third. Ricky Leday will start in left field. Paul Bacco behind the plate, and on the mound, Jeff Weaver. On the mound for the Rockies is Jason Jennings. He's 27 come the middle of July, won 11 games last year. One of his problems has been control. Each of the last couple of years, he has fallen into a bad habit of walking too many people. In fact, he walked over 100 last year. Jennings so far this year has walked 13, and that's tops on a staff that is vulnerable to the base on ball. Nevertheless, he is a very good pitcher. Big fella at 245 pounds, very thick legs, so that he reminded people, especially when he first came up, of Rick Russell. He'll give you a good 90 to 93 sinking fastball, good change, and a slider. And of course, they've been very high on him ever since he arrived. For the fellows with the leather behind him, and up here you need good gloves. Todd Helton and Aaron Miles on the right side. Clint Barmas, a phenomenal young shortstop, more about him later, and Desi Relaford at third. Matt Holliday in left. Corey Sullivan in center. Brad Hopp in right. J.D. Closser behind the plate. And ready to go to work, Jason Jennings. However, the Dodger bullpen contention is only now getting to left center field. So there's no way that they can start the ball game. Not out there, but more towards left field. And in left field, the crowd starts to boo as Jim Colburn and Jeff Weaver come walking in. But it's one of those things in this ballpark. The bullpen is way out in right center, and there's no other way to get here. Weaver might also have taken a couple of additional warm-up tosses because of the cold weather. Well, anyway, the trio has finally reached foul ground. Messrs. Bacco, Weaver, and Colburn. And stepping in is Cesar Izturis. And Izturis takes a strike, and we're underway. For Cesar, his 9th multi-hit game, by coming up with a couple of knocks against the Padres last night. Jennings, without a windup, works outside, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. One of the reasons, one of many reasons, why the Dodgers have been successful early in the going is the fact they've been pretty patient hitters. High chopper wide at third. Relaford throws to first, and that takes care of Izturis. And just like that, 1 away. When you look at Dodger hitters, you realize that J.D. Drew has walked 12 times. Jeff Kent has walked 12 times. Jose Valentin has walked 12 times. So they are making the pitchers work. And in the case of the Rockies, it would appear if you make them work, you're going to get a base on balls. Aesop Choi, who had a couple of hits last night, a double and a single. He looks at a strike, and the count 0-1. Jason Jennings has won 23 games here as he faces Choi. Aesop with a home run so far this year. And the strike 1 pitch on the way. Ground ball to the right side. Aaron Miles is on it. Plenty of time to throw out Choi. 2 down here in the first inning, and J.D. Drew coming up. J.D. Drew, who started the year, of course, 0 for 25 and has battled back a little bit. And J.D., who among other things had a game-tying 8th inning home run in San Diego, trying to pick up a little bit. And he has his average as he comes up to the plate at 212. Takes a pitch outside, ball one, 1-0. So Drew with 2 out. The Dodgers are 5-0 at home. They are 7-3 on the road, and the pitch to Drew is low. They've lost in San Francisco, Arizona, and in San Diego. When this road trip ends, and that'll be on Sunday, the Dodgers go home, and they'll open up Monday night with Arizona. Next weekend with Colorado, and then we'll look at the Washington Nationals. That should be pretty interesting. Drew takes a strike, and the count 2-1 from Jason Jennings. Jennings last year was first in hits allowed, highest batting average allowed, almost 300. The next pitch is high, ball 3. So Drew making Jennings work, and we would expect Drew and Kent and Valentine to do just that all night. By the way, Jeff Kent has been a big home run hitter against Colorado. 3-1 fastball is grounded to the right side. Up with it there is Miles to take care of Drew, and the Dodgers go on 3 ground balls. So at the end of half an inning, Dodgers nothing, Rockies coming up. The Dodgers failed to score in the first inning, so the Rockies coming up. And take a look at a lineup that has produced the highest team batting average in the major leagues. They're hitting .296. Aaron Miles at second base, Clint Barmas at short, Todd Helton at first, Matt Holliday in left, Brad Hopp will be in right field, Desi Relaford is at third, Corey Sullivan in center, J.D. Closser is the catcher, and Jason Jennings the pitcher. Coming off a 114 pitch shutout, Jeff Weaver ready to go tonight. You remember when he shut out the San Diego Padres, 4th shutout in his career, first in the National League, and his pitch to Aaron Miles in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Aaron Miles doing a very good job leading off, and missed a clutch as he hits one down the left field line, base hit. Over to get the ball is Ricky Leday. Miles on his way for 2. A good throw. He is safe. The tag by Kent just late as Leday had to go across the foul line and make the throw. So Aaron Miles on the first pitch of the game doubles to left, and Barmas, Helton, and Holliday coming up. For Jeff Weaver, he decided to stay with the team last night and come to Colorado. So the best he could do had gotten to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. So this is an extremely difficult start for him tonight. Clint Barmas with a 7-game hitting streak, and he has just been a remarkable rookie. He is hitting .448. He might be the first major league rookie to hit .400 as he takes a strike in the month of April, that is. He's also been consistent to pile up 26 hits, and Barmas captured everybody's imagination here when he hit an opening day walk-off home run to beat Trevor Hoffman and San Diego. Time for the moment. Jeff Kent apparently thought he had tagged out the runner, and he and Phil Cuzzier having a few words. And now Jim Tracy getting out there to make sure. I just read something, Kent said something about I just wanted to make sure. So whatever it was, Leday made a good throw. It was a very close play at second. And Phil Cuzzy indicating that Miles was safe, going in head first. His left hand just did touch the bag before Kent put the ball on his left shoulder. So it was a good call by Phil Cuzzy. And it might have been more of a discussion than an argument from Jeff Kent. So Clint Barmas up there trying to advance his man, hitting .448, 26 hits, and a dozen runs batted in. Right-hand batter. A look back by Weaver. Jeff delivers. Breaking ball hit foul outside of third and down the line. With runners in scoring position, Barmes hitting .467. Andres Galarraga for the Montreal Expos way back in 1986 hit .400 as a rookie in the month of April. Here's the pitch to Clint Barmes, way outside and low. He just did hold up, started to chase it, and the count 1-2. Barmes also had his first career multi-homer game a few days ago against the Giants. And playing shortstop, he's gone 9 straight games without an error. So they have a wunderkind here at short. The 1-2 pitch, Barmes swings, fouls it back. Clint, a slightly open stance, but then he closes it and apparently making good contact. He's atop the heap in the National League, batting .448. So Barmes waiting from Vincennes, Indiana. Went to school at Indiana State, and Vincennes, by the way, is maybe 3 hours from St. Louis. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Clint slices it to right. Coming up in a hurry is Drew to make the catch. Miles holding at second. So Barmes tries to go the other way to move his runner along and flies to right. But take a look at the Dodgers defensively behind Weaver, and they stack up this way. Aesop Choi and Cesar Izturis at short. Jeff Kent is at second base. Jose Valentin is at third, with Leday and Bradley and Drew in the outfield. Behind the plate, Ball Bacco. Bradley coming off a big defensive game last night, made a couple of great throws. So now with a runner at second and 1 out, here is Todd Helton, who has hit 28 home runs against the Dodgers in his career. Weaver ready and bends a slow curveball high. Ball 1, 1-0. Todd Helton has more home runs against the Dodgers than any other opponent. Barry Bonds has 60. So Helton waiting, struggling a bit with mechanics and still hitting .278. And Todd takes low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Helton, interestingly enough, is hitting only .214 here at Coors Field. On the road, he's hitting .346. So Weaver looks in, out of a stretch, a check back at second at Miles. Curveball is chopped on the ground to the right side. Kent makes the play, and on the ground ball, Miles takes third. So 2 out, first inning, no score. Matt Holliday coming up. So Helton fails to knock him in, and they leave it to young Holliday. Matt Holliday last year had great success against the Dodgers. He had .400 against Dodger pitching with a home run and 3 RBIs. Big right-hand hitter. Here comes Weaver, and the first pitch, a slider in the dirt. A great save by Bacco. That could have been a run on that pitch. Matt Holliday is out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. Went to Stillwater High School. His dad at one time was the Oklahoma State University head baseball coach. Now he's the pitching coach at the University of Texas. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's off the plate. Ball 2, 2-0. So Jeff Weaver with a runner at third and 2 down. No score in the ball game. Tomorrow night, Odalis Perez and Sean Chacon. Brad Penny may pitch on Sunday, weather permitting, but the reports we get on the weather, there's no way he's going to pitch. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Matt Holliday. Fastball high, ball 3. On deck, Brad Hopp. The report we have about Sunday, temperature in the low 50s, 80% chance of rain. There's no chance they're going to run Brad out there in that kind of weather. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and that's in for a strike, and the count 3-1 to Holliday. So Big Weaver is pitching to Big Holliday. Holliday is 6'4" and about 225. Weaver leaning in to get a sign. Now he's ready, and the 3-1 pitch coming up. Jeff deals, fastball whacked to left, but Leday is there to flag it, and that's that. That thing was hit right on the button, but right at Leday. So they leave Miles, who doubled, and at the end of an inning, no score. We go to the second inning, and Jeff Kent, who eats up Jennings in the pass, checks into the plate. Jason turns on the rubber, right-handed deals, and Kent takes a strike. For Jennings, he knows that Kent is hitting .435 against him with 2 home runs. And Kent in his career has 29 home runs against the Rockies, 18 hit here. Strike one pitch, and Kent swings, bangs it into left field, base hit. So certainly he owns Jennings as Kent a line drive single to left, and the batter will be Milton Bradley. For Jennings, who looked like he had a pretty good sinker going in the first inning, he got 3 ground balls, but he is a hungry pitcher. He has not won a game since August last year. He's gone winless in his last 11 starts, and he's the victim of a poor bullpen. Jennings set at the belt. Bradley, hitting left-handed, takes in the dirt. Nice save behind the plate by J.D. Closser. 1 ball and no strikes to Milton. Bradley hitting .333. Out of a stretch, and the pitch to Milton. Slow roller to first. Heldon goes to get the front man and does. The return throw not in time. So Bradley hits into a force play. Kent is erased, and with 1 out, Jose Valentin coming up. Jose Valentin is a patient hitter who has a dozen walks, so we'll see if he gets deep into the count. We were talking about the Dodgers doing that, making pitchers get deep, being patient hitters, yet so far anyway, they have not gotten deep except for J.D. Drew, who went 3-1 and grounded out. Now the pitch to Valentin in for a strike, and the count 0-1. So Jose giving the Dodgers a lift, hitting .233. Jennings set at the belt, looks over at first at Bradley, and Bradley goes. Pitch is low, bobbled and dropped by Closser. Milton steals second base without a throw. So the Dodgers run Bradley, and he is successful. For Milton, 1 for 2 in stolen bases, and the Dodgers as a team have stolen 10 out of 12. They've done very well. For Jennings, not only is he trying to pick up his first victory since August of last year, he's trying to win his 24th career victory at Coors, and it's really been a struggle. The pitch at the plate missing down and away, and the sinker makes the count 2-1. Jennings has made 6 straight starts trying to get a victory here, and he's come up empty each time. Jason ready, and the 2-1 pitch to Valentin. Jose takes off the plate. Ball 3, and the count 3-1. So it's a second 3-ball count. If you look at the pitching here, you realize that walks have certainly killed the Colorado pitchers. They've given up 82 walks already. Jennings set, looks back at Bradley. The 3-1 pitch is taken low, ball 4. So the Dodgers now have runners at first and second with 1 out. Ricky Leday coming up. One of the big areas where the Rockies have come apart, the 7th inning. They have had too many blown saves. In fact, Jason had a shot at victory, and that went down the drain on Sunday. Here at Coors, however, Jennings, who pitches very well with that sinker, and he has never lost to the Dodgers here. He is 3-0 at Coors. So Ricky Leday at the plate, 2 on, 1 out, no score, second inning. Ricky fouls one outside of first, and the count 0-1. The Dodgers have been using Ricky Leday, Jason Grabowski, and Jason Repko. And the first sign of Jason Worth tonight, Jason hit off a tee and did not feel any pain. So it could be that Worth is slowly coming back as Leday swings and misses. As Jason Worth said, they told me it was going to be 6 to 8 weeks. I'm just about in my 7th week. So if I feel as good as I did tonight, won't be long before I'll rehab a game or 2 And we'll be looking forward to seeing Jason Worth back. You remember, in his first at bat in spring training, he was hit on the arm by A.J. Burnett. The pitch to Leday in the dirt. Nice block by Closser. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bradley at second, Valentine at first. With 1 out, no score, second inning. Kind of an angry looking night here. The sun was out, but then as we got closer to about 5 o'clock sunset, it turned gray and the wind coming out of the east, blowing from right to left. The 1-2 pitch coming up. Jennings deals. That's pulled foul into the crowd or first base, and the count stays 1-2. This ballpark, it's 347 down the left field line, falls away to 390. It is 415 to straightaway center, 375 to right, and 350 to right. It is as big an outfield as there is in the National League. You need speed to play here defensively. The pitch is in there for call, strike 3. Leday doesn't say anything, but from his body language, I think he felt that pitch was high. So Jennings started it up, and then it dipped in and got the corner. Leday just stands there disgustedly as if say, oh my, and walks away. 2 down. First strikeout for Jason Jennings, and it'll bring up Paul Bacco. Bacco hitting .231. The left-hand hitting catcher swings, hits a ground ball to the right side to Aaron Miles. Second baseman throws him out. So the Dodgers lead 2, get 1 base hit and a walk, and at the end of an inning and a half, no score. No score, bottom of the second inning. A reminder, Tuesday at 7:10, the Dodgers host the Diamondbacks for $2 True Blue Tuesday, presented by General Motors. You can get top deck, reserve level, and pavilion tickets for only $2. It's also the first night fans can win a brand new Cadillac CTS. You can purchase tickets online at Ticketmaster outlet locations or at the Dodger Stadium advanced ticket window. Don't miss out. Jeff Weaver going to work, and Brad Hopp with a 5-game hitting streak fouls the first pitch back, out of play. Another of the young faces in the Colorado lineup. The Rockies, well, they number 8 first-year players. The Dodgers have 6, and the Rockies open the season with an average age of 26 years, the youngest team in the major leagues by far. Tampa Bay is 28. Brad Hopp, who spells that last name Hawppe, is out of Fort Worth, Texas, and the 1-1 pitch is swung on. Little fly ball to right field. Coming up in a hurry is Drew, and he's there now to glove it. So the left-hand batter is retired, 1 away, and Desi Relaford will be coming up. So Weaver, despite the lack of sleep, going through his workout. It is certainly an uneven field tonight as far as rest is concerned. Colorado played a game in Philadelphia, and they were all home in their homes by 8 o'clock. Well, the Dodgers were barely starting in San Diego, and the first pitch to Relaford is low, ball 1. A switch hitter who has been around. Desi Relaford played with the Phillies, the Padres, the Mets, the Mariners, the Royals, and now Colorado, and he pops one up into that gray wool sky, and there's Jeff Kent calling and making the catch. 2 out. Corey Sullivan is an interesting young outfielder. They're very high on him, and there's nothing wrong with Preston Wilson. He's just getting a rest, and they certainly don't lose anything defensively with Corey Sullivan. He went to school at Wake Forest. He's from Wisconsin. He pitched and played the outfield in college, but Corey made his major league debut, and in his first major league plate appearance against the Giants, against San Diego, he doubled a left against Trevor Hoffman. So Sullivan takes a strike, and the count 0-1. 6'1", 210. 27 years old, and he takes one high, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Last year, Corey Sullivan missed the entire season. He had Tommy John surgery on his left elbow. The 1-1 pitch in the dirt. 2-1 the count. So Jeff Weaver has 2 down here in the second inning. He was greeted by a leadoff double from Aaron Miles, but he worked his way out of the inning. Now the 2-1 pitch to Sullivan off the plate. Ball 3. On deck, J.D. Closser. Corey Sullivan, his father was a minerals development firm, and his sister was an athlete. And Sullivan hits one deep into right center field for extra bases. Corey is around second and then holds on as Bradley got that ball quickly back in. So a long 2-out double for Corey Sullivan. Second double of the night for the Rockies, but no score in the ball game. And J.D. Closser coming up. Bradley doing a good job of holding that to a double. Mike Gallego was all set to wave Sullivan to third, and then Bradley arrowed that ball back into his turf. So Sullivan is at second and J.D. Closser at the plate. We talked about Closser when we were in San Diego. He's a farm boy out of Indiana. Out of a stretch as Weaver comes to the plate, and there's a soft line drive base hit into center. Here comes Corey Sullivan to score, and the Rockies take a 1-0 lead. The ball just eluded Weaver and then carried into center for the base hit. J.D. Closser is the boy whose name is Jeffrey Darren, but he went to his parents and asked them, could I change my name officially to J.D.? Not the initials J.D. In other words, not J period D period. No, just J.D. They said, son, if that's what you want, okay. Now Jonathan David Drew in right field is a different J.D. And the batter now is Jason Jennings, a good hitting pitcher. He takes low, ball 1. So Closser a base hit, a run batted in, and the Rockies take a 1-0 lead. Remember last year the Dodgers had their eggs scrambled here. It was a tough stay. They wound up splitting the 10. Jennings takes off the plate, ball 2. Dodgers won 5, lost 5, and every one was tough. This is a new Dodger ball club, of course, but they also read the press guide and they know it was a struggle. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Jennings, and that's pop foul off to the left and out of play. Jason Jennings, a big fella out of Dallas, Texas. He went to Baylor University. He has a huge lower body, but no one really considers him fat. He is 6'2", 245, huge thighs. The 2-1 pitch taken low, ball 3. What I guess you could call thunder thighs. That would be Jason Jennings. So Jennings trying to keep the inning alive. Closser at first, 1 run in, and the Rockies lead 1-0. Weaver comes back. Jennings takes in the dirt. So the inning continues with 2 out. The double by Sullivan, the single by Closser, and now the walk to Jennings. And now Aaron Miles coming up, and Aaron is a tough guy, especially with runners in scoring position. As Jennings talks to Dave Collins at first, Miles prepares to check in. Aaron leading the major leagues, hitting .778 with runners in scoring position. 7 for 9. In fact, he had 6 straight hits with men in scoring position, then finally flied out in the second inning yesterday in Philadelphia. Aaron takes a breaking ball that dips in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Miles makes things tough for you. He is very much a competitor. He's only 5'8", about 170 pounds, from Pittsburgh, California, and lives in Antioch. Aaron, the left-hand hitter, hits one foul down the line, out of play. Left-handed against Weaver. He'll bat right-handed if he's in the lineup against Odalis Perez. The Weaver straddling the rubber, deep in thought. Miles in and out of the box. Miles' overall batting average started the night at 327 and doubled. This time fouls it back. So as he stands at the plate, Miles is hitting 340. So he would have a better average than Craig Biggio, and he's probably right there with Jeff Kent. So Miles in and out of the box. He comes from quite a family. Now the strike two pitch coming up, Darren. Weaver deals, ground ball inside third by the diving Valentine. Scoring easily is Closser, and holding on with a base hit inside the bag is Miles, and all of a sudden it is 2-0. Closser stopped at second, but Sullivan brought the run in easily. So with 2 out in the inning, Sullivan doubled to right center, Closser singled up the middle, Jennings walks, and Miles singles. Anybody but Jennings running ahead of him. Miles might have had another double. Went right over the bag and down the line. So here now is Clint Barmas, and he takes a strike. Clint has a 7-game hitting streak. Rockies leading 2-0, and we told you at the start that this is going to be the toughest start, I think, for Jeff Weaver all year. This will be his 22nd pitch. Curveball hit slowly to short, and the Dodgers get the force to end the inning. But getting to bed at after 4 o'clock in the morning and pitching on a cold night, it is a rough start indeed at Coors Field. 2-0 Colorado. 2-0 Colorado as we go to the 3rd inning. You know, the Dodgers host the Diamondback on Wednesday at 7:10, and the first 50,000 fans in attendance receive a fleece blanket. Compliments of your Southern California Toyota dealers. Call 1-866-DODGERS. Log on to Dodgers.com for more information. 2-0 in favor of the Rockies, and Jeff Weaver followed by Cesar Izturis and then Hee-Seop Choi. So Jason Jennings staked to a lead, and the Dodgers trying to come back. As you know, they've had 5 come from behind wins this year. Pitch to Weaver is in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Rockies have lost 7 of their last 10. The next pitch to Weaver is just off the plate, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. For Clint Hurdle, their 15 games, 11 have decided by 3 runs or less as Weaver fouls it off. His bullpen has absolutely crushed him at one stage. They lost 6 saves that could easily have been victories. In fact, they have been leading in 8 of the 11 games they've lost. Here's the 1-2 pitch, very high, ball 2, 2-2 the count. So Jennings trying to keep it going and finally get that elusive 24th career victory. Right-hander deals, good sinker, swung on and missed. So Jeff Weaver leads off the inning by striking out, and for Jason Jennings that would be his 2nd strikeout, and the batter Cesar Izturis. Izturis grounded to 3rd in the 1st inning. Cesar off to a great start, hitting .338 overall, and hitting left-handed, looks at a strike, and the count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Tomorrow night, Odalis Perez and Sean Chacon. Perez with a perfect 3-0. The next one to Izturis off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Jennings, no fuss, just kind of turns on the rubber. Back he comes, and it's hit foul outside of first down the line. 1-2 the count to Cesar Izturis. So the Dodgers trying to wake up early here, having been pushed around, 2 runs already. The 1-2 pitch coming up. Jennings delivers, and it is a check swing, no swing, says third base umpire Ed Rappuano. 2-2 the count. His tourist bowing to the weather. Usually in cold weather he's always bare arm, but he's wearing a long sleeve undershirt tonight. He takes a high strike three, kind of like the pitch that called Leday out on. A sinker baller who starts the pitch up and then it drops down into the strike zone. So here's his tourist figuring, well, that's too high, and then it dipped in. So that's the third strikeout for Jason Jennings, and the hitter will be Hee-Seop Choi, and he promptly lines one into right field for a base hit. Going after a sinker, he singles to right, and that'll bring up J.D. Drew. So Hee-Seop Choi, a 2-out single. 2-0 in favor of the Rockies. We're in the third inning. Dodgers will go home following Sunday's game, if there is a game. They're talking about 80% chance of rain, temperature in the low 50s. The first pitch to J.D. Drew is low, ball one, 1-0. Last year in the games played at Coors Field, we didn't have any of those 16 to 15 games we played in the past here. The 1-0 pitch is low, but we had games where the Dodgers scored 9 a couple of times, 9s and 7s, and the Rockies did the same thing. So runs usually come across here. 2-0 pitch on the way to J.D. Drew. Jennings ready. Here he comes, and that's lined into right field. Base hit. Going back to get it and get it back in is Brad Hopp, but on his way to third easily goes Hee-Seop Choi. So with 2 out, singles by Choi and Drew put runners at first and third. Nice play by Brad Hopp out there. He went racing over to his left and able to get his glove on the ball and then quickly get it back in. With all the runs you usually see here in this ballpark, there was one game last year the Dodgers won it 3-2. You don't see many by that score in this park. So first and third, 2 out, and J.D. Kent following J.D. Drew's base hit. So Jeff Kent swings, first ball hitting, ground ball to third, and Rutherford throws him out. So that is very much unlike the Dodgers. Little first ball hitting, and they come up shy. 2 base hits, they leave 2, and they've left 4 men in the last. 2-0 in favor of the Rockies. Bottom of the third inning. Jeff Weaver ready to work to Todd Helton, who fouls the first pitch away, and the count 0-1. Helton hitting .273, struggling at Coors Field. That's what makes it so interesting, that he's hitting less than .214 in this ballpark and doing very well on the road, .346. He promptly lifts one up into that gray sky to right field, but J.D. Drew is there waiting for it to come down and makes the catch for the out. So 1 out in the third, and the batter will be Matt Holliday. Matt Holliday was a very impressive looking young player when we saw him last year, and this year Clint Hurdle says that Matt is going to be an impact player. Well, he's playing every day in left field and making impact. Hitting .300 with runners in scoring position. He takes a strike. Hitting well, better than .330 against left-handers, and came in hitting .317 against right-handers. Lined out his first at bat. Matt takes high and away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt Holliday is an impressive 6'4", 225-pounder, and he's only 25 years old. The breaking ball away, and the count 2-2. Weaver ready and comes back after him, and a check swing. They're going to look no swing. So we'll check the count. Scoreboard shows 3-1. So Weaver working on a Holliday with 1 out in the third, and the Rockies leading 2-0, and they did it with 2 out. Shot up the middle, base hit for Holliday. Weaver tried to stick his foot in the way, which is not a good idea, but being a competitor, he didn't want to just let it go by. But Weaver couldn't stop it with his foot, and maybe it's just as well. So Holliday A ground single to center. Weaver gives up another base hit. That's 5 hits to go with the 2 runs. And the batter now, Brad Hopp. Remember, the Rockies came in here with the highest batting average in the major leagues, collectively hitting .296. They can pile them up. Out of a stretch is Weaver, and the first pitch hit in the air to left. Going back on the ball is Leday. It is gone. A 2-run home run for Brad Hopp. It is 4-0 in favor of Colorado. And whoever made the schedule and had the Rockies play a day game in Philadelphia yesterday, and the Dodgers play a night game in San Diego, so they got here at 4 in the morning. It's the schedule maker who should take a bow in this one. 4-0 Colorado as Hopp hits one into the left field seats. So Weaver now down by 4, and Desi Relaford coming up. The Rockies are a force at home. They always have been. Pitch to Relaford outside, ball 1. Should they win tonight, they'd be break even at home. They are 1-7 on the road. The 1-0 pitch, and that's low. 2-0 the count. So for Jeff Weaver, from every angle, the early morning arrival, the lack of sleep, the cold weather, and the altitude, and he's down 4-0. Chopper foul outside of first, and the count 2-1. 4 runs, 6 hits, and no errors for the Rockies. No runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. So Brad Hopp goes the other way for the home run. The 2-1 pitch foul down the line. The wind or breeze is blowing from right to left, so that might have helped it a little bit, but the ball was hit hard. And for Hopp, his 3rd home run, and it gives him 10 runs batted in. 2-2 the count. Weaver turns ready, big right-handed deals a pitch that stayed up, ball 3. 3-2. So with 2 out in the 2nd inning, he gave up a double, a single, a walk, and another single for 2. And with 1 out, he's given up a single and a home run here. Curveball is hit in the air. Bradley went back, but now he comes in to make the catch. 2 down. The first instinct of any outfielder is to go back. And in this ballpark, you really have to be able to cover the gaps. You need outfielders who can really run him down. And what happens is, in order to cover the gaps, the outfielders play rather deeper than normal. That means that ordinary pop flies have a tendency to drop in. Corey Sullivan, who doubled to deepest right center and came around to score in the 2nd inning at the plate. 4-0 Rockies in the 3rd. Weaver ready. Jeff deals, and that's hit in the air to left center and deep. Back goes Bradley. Back goes Leday. This one is going to bounce over the wall for the ground rule double. And now maybe not. Maybe the ball was still in play. Yes. And he's going to go to 3rd. There is a big wedge cutout over there, and it appeared like the ball was going to bounce over. And when it hit, it must have hit the wire fence above the wall and came back, and Leday jumped on it to get it back. So the Dodgers lose the additional base. There is the fence with the wire and the yellow piping, and the ball got a chunk of it. So some opposite field power here by some young hitters. As Leday tried to run it down, the ball hit, went high in the air, and then came back. So it's a triple for Sullivan, who now has a double and a triple. And the batter is J.D. Closser. Left-hand hitting catcher has to pull away from a pitch inside, ball 1. 4 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for the Rockies. It's early, and the Rockies have hit for the cycle. A couple of singles, they have a double, a triple, and a home run. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way, and Closser takes high, ball 2. For Weaver, he has to be careful with a runner at 3rd and a slick baseball. So trying to get Closser with Jennings, a good hitting pitcher, on deck. Jeb leans in to get a sign. Baco sending a target behind the plate, and the 2-0 pitch on the outside corner. 2-1 the count. So they've had doubles by Miles and Sullivan. They have a triple by Sullivan, a home run by Hobb, and 3 singles. The 2-1 pitch is swung on, popped up between home and third. Valentine down the line to make the catch, and that's it. But for Jeff Weaver, another tough inning, back-to-back deuces, and at the end of 3, 4-0 Colorado. Fourth inning, 4-0 Rockies. Milton Bradley, ball 1. One of the things that is pretty apparent with Jeff Weaver, ball 2. If you're going to get Weaver, the chances are you will get to him early in the game. Remember when the Giants got to him, they scored 5 runs in the first inning and wound up getting 8 early in 3 innings. Well, he's given up 4 so far in 3 innings tonight. For whatever reason, the opposition batting average in the first three innings, 30 pitches, is .455 against Weaver. After that, after pitch number 31, they're hitting less than 200 against him. Little ground ball. Helton will underhand to Jennings, coming over. 1 away. Our trivia question for tonight: prior to Adrian Beltre, who was the last Dodger to lead the National League in home runs? You have any idea? Well, we'll give you the answer in a little while. Jose Valentine walked in the second inning. Four runs, 7 hits for the Rockies. They have gotten to Weaver early, and that seems to be the case. Strike. 0-1. Valentine hitting .293. Hitting back of him, Ricky Leday. One ball, 1 strike. Aaron Miles has 2 hits. Halladay, Hop, Sullivan has 2 doubles. Klosser a hit. So the Rockies breathing a little fire here, coming off the road where they've only won 1 game this year. 2-2 the count to Valentine. And a good sinker takes care of Valentine. Strikeout number 4 for Jason Jennings. And Ricky Leday will be coming up. Jennings had 133 strikeouts last year. So that sinker ball is very effective. Leday struck out in the second inning. Ball 1. The biggest problem for any starting pitcher with Colorado is the fear that the bullpen will come in and blow the game. The ERA in the first 15 games for the Colorado bullpen, 9.35. 9. So Clint Hurdle has certainly not gotten any relief going to the pen. Young Kim is gesturing down there. He's having a rocky career. 3-0. That's a strike. 3-1. So Leday 0 for 1, hitting .265. And he's aboard. So the Dodgers pick up their second walk. 2 walks and 3 hits, but they have not been able to move people around. They left 4 men in the first 3 innings. And here's Paul Bacco, who grounded out in the 2nd inning. And a shot into right field, base hit. Leday looks at the right fielder, Hop, and then decides to hold on. So a walk and a 2-out single will bring up Jeff Weaver. One thing for the Dodgers, even though they're down 4-0 in the 3rd inning, the streak convinced them that they can overtake any ball club no matter the score. Remember Milwaukee 6-0, but of course Milwaukee is not a good club, but the Rockies have had problems with their pitching, and the Dodger record, trailing after 7 innings, they're 4-2. Big breaking ball strike on 1. Weaver coming into the game was 3 for 9. Now he's hitting .300. Struck out last trip. 0-2. Dodgers 4 hits and a couple of walks, but no runs. Just fouled it away. In looking at the Rockies in the first 3 innings, the kids certainly showed power to the opposite field. Miles doubled and singled going the other way. Hop, a left-hand batter, homered to left. Sullivan, a left-hand batter, doubled and tripled the other way. 0-2. Little nubber back to Jennings. He is a fine fielder, and that's that. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. Dodgers have left 6, and at the end of 3.5 innings, 4-0 Colorado. From Lexus and by Southwest Airlines, nonstop service to over 59 destinations across the country. Bottom of the 4th inning, 4-0 in favor of the Rockies. They got after Jeff Weaver early. Aaron Miles started the game with a double, and they have that comfortable lead with Jennings at the plate. Ball 1. Jennings, sinker slider, and it's certainly doing a job. On the mound, he's had 8 ground balls, 4 strikeouts, and no fly balls. None. Ground ball, foul to Choi. 1-1. Weaver, like so many other pitchers, we were talking before, not to make a big deal out of it, but so many good pitchers, if you don't get them early, then they get tougher. Jennings, a good hitter, singles to left. So they're going the other way with Weaver and doing a great job. Remember the trivia question prior to Adrian Beltre, who was the last Dodger to lead the National League in home runs? Sure. Duke Snyder, way back in Brooklyn. The Duke in the Hall of Fame hit 43 in 1956. So it is a rocky night, and let's face it, it figured to be so for Jeff Weaver. He's allowed 8 hits and 4 runs. And here is Miles. Missed the bunt. Throw down, and they got Jennings. So Jason Jennings picked off by Paul Bacco when the bunt was missed at the plate. And Jennings slowly getting up. I don't think he's hurt so much as embarrassed. So Jennings trying to cheat a little bit. And when the bunt was missed, he was hung out to dry. Good throw to Choi by Bacco. So Jennings is nailed. 1 out. Now the count, 1 ball and 1 strike to Aaron Miles. Miles double to left, single to left. On the hands, pulled foul. Boy, did he turn on that thing. Aaron's base hit to left field in the 2nd inning drove in a run. So he keeps wearing them out with runners in scoring position. He is 8 for 10 with runners in scoring position. 1-2. Rockies trying to convince the people here in Denver that they have a pretty good team. Tricky hopper to Kent. 2 down. The last 2 games that they played here against Arizona, they had 2 of the smallest crowds in the franchise history. The 2 crowds were about 18,000. So they had 18-5 and 18-2. Well, right now the weather is not conducive to going to the ball games, especially at night. 2 down, and here is Clint Barmas, and he is certainly worth looking at. A strike. Clint batting .433. The boy from Indiana. It happens so often. Barmas in school was a center fielder, played some left field, and then in junior college the team sophomore quit the team, the shortstop. So the coach said, you take a whack at short, and he looks like he's going to have quite a career. So he joins the fun with a line drive single to left. So they are all over Weaver. 9 hits and 4 runs in 3 2/3 innings. For Barmas, he now has hit safely in 8 straight. And Todd Helton rounded out and flied out. So Barmas at first, 2 down, 4-0 Rockies. Barmas has stolen 2 out of 3, but you don't expect him to be running with Helton. Ball 1. Helton taking a long look at Mike Gallego, the third base coach. Over at first, Davy Collins. 1-1. Helton grounded to second, flied to right. Weaver has allowed 9 hits in 3 2/3 innings. Helton makes his contributions with the glove. Also, you know, even though he's not tearing up the league right now, he's reached safely 14 of the 15 games, and he has hit in 10 of the 15. So Barmas at first, 2 out, and a 1-1 count to Todd Helton. The only player in the game that Weaver ever faced is Desi Relaford. And that's going to be pulled into right field for a base hit. That would be hit number 10 for the Rockies, and the ball giving right field to Drew a bad time. So scoring easily is Barmas. Helton is into second. It is 5-0 Rockies. So they are all over, Jeff. And certainly we were not trying to be prophetic when we did say this might be the toughest start of the year for Weaver. And Drew having a lot of trouble. We'll see if it's 1-1 or if they're going to charitably just give Helton a double. Jim Colburn has gone out to talk to Weaver, and in a minute, and they are going to give a double to Helton and a run batted in. So the Rockies 5 runs and 10 hits. in 3 2/3 innings. And for Weaver, it was a pretty good play by Bacco to get one of the outs. Buddy Carlisle has taken off his windbreaker, and Carlisle begins to warm up. Colburn trying to give Weaver the hang in there. Dodgers will have his Turris, Choi, and Drew in that order when they come up in the 5th inning. But the Rockies are having a ball, and Matt Holliday is the hitter. 3 doubles, a triple, a home run, and some assorted singles. Hit down the right field line in the corner, foul. 0-1. Holliday lined out to left and single to center. On the inside corner, strike 2. Weaver has made 83 pitches now. Side armor down and away. Nice save by Bacco. So Paul doing a good job and got himself an assist when he picked Jennings off first. But Weaver giving up 10 hits and 5 runs in 3 2/3. He had made 57 pitches coming into this inning, and they've been all over him. That's off the plate. In fact, I did a little bad math. His pitch count now is 74. 74. Well, that's 17 pitches in the inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Helton at second. Breaking ball, and he hung it. Base hit into left center. Bradley over to cut it off, and Holliday is on his way for 2. He is in there, and the run is home, and the Rockies are having a ball. They lead 6-0. Another extra base hit. So that's 6 runs and 11 hits against Weaver. And the batter now is Brad Hopp, who came up in the 3rd inning and gave one a ride the other way. Hopp batting .371. Strike. 0-1. Four doubles, a triple, and a home run, and 5 singles. And the Rockies lead 6-0. On the fists, a little pop fly. Slider ate him up. However, it's another deuce. Deuces are wild on the scoreboard for the Rockies, and at the end of 4, 6-0 Colorado.